Thank you very much, D-Man. I am standing by here with heart after that fantastic ending. So obviously the first thing I want to ask you is how you did there. How did you manage to keep that nexus alive and just the feelings going through your mind?
그 마지막 순간에 넥서스를 어떻게 지켰는지 지금 어떤 기분인지 설명 좀 해주세요.
일단 저희가 야소가 딱 죽었을 때 다 도망가자, 막기만 하자 이런 식으로 이야기를 했는데 계속 죽을 수밖에 없었던 거예요. 그래서 이거 진짜 막 끝나는 거 아니냐 막 하면서 막 어떻게든 막아보자. 막 저희 랭가는 막 자기가 백도어를 해서 자기가 먼저 밀겠다 하면서 막 달려들었는데 그냥 몸으로 막자고 해서 이렇게 불러서 막 진짜 너무 지는 줄 알았어요. 진짜 지는 줄 알았어요. 근데 그래도 어떻게 그때 헤일이 이렇게 브라운 방패막에 다 막히는 거 보고 이거 진짜 졌다 막 이 생각했는데 다행히도 지금 너무 이겨갖고 이렇게 기쁘네요.
Okay.
Giving him a hard time.
So okay, after Yasuo died, we're like, oh my god, just run away, go back to your base. And then after one by one died, we're like, are we gonna lose? Oh my god, what's happening? And then Rengar was like, okay, I'm just gonna backdoor. And then we're like, no, come back, let's just defend our base. And then like he tried his best, and like Brown, he blocked my Nami's ult. So we're like, oh my god, are we really gonna lose this? And then eventually we respawn, and then we defend our Nexus, and we won. I don't know, we're so excited.
Well, it was a great ending, but for how excited you are, you do have the semi-final versus White. Tell me, how do you think that matchup is going to go? You've done it before, but this is the world stage.
이제 드디어 4강 진출하셔서 다시 한번 삼성 화이트 팀이랑 붙을 텐데 이제 이게 올해 첫 내전은 아니잖아요. 근데 아무래도 롤드컵이라서 좀 소감이 남다를 것 같은데 근데 좀 어떤지 얘기해 주세요.
일단 제가 생각하는 화이트 팀은요, 여태까지의 그 계속 있었던 화이트 팀 중에서 제일 센, 이번 시즌이 롤드컵 시즌이 제일 센 화이트 팀인 것 같아요. 그래서 진짜 약간 스프링 시즌이랑 썸머 시즌에서는 우리가 이길 수도 있겠다라는 생각을 했었는데 이번만큼은 진짜 어떻게 될지 모르겠어요, 아직은. 그래서 앞으로 연습을 하는 거에 따라서 달라질 것 같고, 또 분명히 많은 사람들이 이제 화이트 팀이 항상 이긴다고 이야기를 했었지만 저희는 항상 이겨왔었기 때문에 어떻게 될 건지는 4강 이제 그동안에 준비하는 거에 따라서 많이 달라질 것 같아요.
Okay. When we beat Samsung White during spring and summer season, but for now they're a completely different team. They're much stronger. I think right now this is the strongest phase. But even before, a lot of other people, they said Samsung White's going to beat us, but we eventually won. So I think it's going to mainly depend on how much we practice. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really good match.
To follow up on that, your direct counterparter in lane, Mata, said before, well, this time we have a pretty good chance to beat them. What do you think of that?
그 이제 상대할 마타 선수가 이제 4강에서 삼성 블루팀 상대로 이길 수 있을 것 같다고 이제 얘기를 했었는데 그에 대해 어떻게 생각하시나요?
원래 항상 인터뷰는 그렇게 했는데 매번 졌었어요. 그래서 그렇게 크게 신경 안 쓰고요. 뭐 그냥 게임 잘 하고 재밌는 경기 하고 그랬으면 좋겠어요. 그리고 거기서 이긴 팀이 꼭 우승했으면 좋겠고요.
Before our Samsung Blue and White games, he always mentioned in the interview that he would beat us, but eventually we won both games. So I don't really care what he said, but I think it's more important to just, play really hard, practice hard, and have a fun game. And whoever wins the semifinals match, I hope they win the World Championship.
Wow, very nice to hear. Just a couple of more things I want to ask you. First up, what do your teammates think about the support you're giving them through your haircut?
그 팀원들이 하트 선수 머리에 대해서 어떤 말 혹시 하던가요?
뭐랄까, 제가 원래 머리 스타일을 자주 이제 좀 특이한 스타일을 많이 바꾸긴 했었는데 그래서 저희 팀원들은 딱히 그냥 이 형 또 바꿨네 막 이런 식으로 넘어갔어요. 근데 이제 다른 분들이 주위에서 많이 이야기를 해주시더라고요. 이제 주로 이제 라이엇 분들이 오셔갖고 멋있다 뭐 막 이렇게 얘기를 많이 해주시고 네.
Like I changed my hair so many times, so like my teammates were like, "Oh, he just got a new haircut," so they didn't really say anything. But like a lot of riders and a lot of friends around me, they said, "Wow, you look really cool."
Well, I think you look really cool as well. Is there finally something you want to say to the crowd and all the people supporting you?
마지막으로 이제 팬들한테 한 말씀 해주세요.
이제 혁규가 이제 레클리스랑 경기를 할 때 마지막 경기에서 이제 저희 팀이 이기고 레클리스가 이제 혁규한테 와서 이야기를 했어요. 뭐 우리 팀한테 너희가 이겼으니까 너희 팀이 꼭 우승해라. 그래야지 내가 여기서 떨어진 게 자랑스러울 수가 있다. 이런 식으로 이야기를 했는데 예, 그거에 대해서 혁규가 꼭 자기가 약속 지켜주겠다고 우승하겠다는 이야기를 했거든요. 그래서 저희 팀 되게 우승 꼭 할 수 있도록 노력 많이 할 거고요. 그리고 항상 좀 불안한 모습 같은 것들도 보여드리는데 그래도 응원해 주시는 팬분들께 정말 감사하다는 말씀 드리고 싶어요.
So after our game with Fnatic, Reckless came over to Deft and he said, "Since you guys beat us, please, win World Championship. That way, the team who beat us will be the world champion." So and Deft really wanted to keep that promise. So as a teammate, I want to keep the promise as well with Deft. And for all the fans, like for cheering us, like I want to say sorry because of our unstable games, but please keep cheering for us.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. You got a chance to make it all right in the semis.
I think.
And as for us, we're going to wrap things up over at the desk.
Thank you very much, Sharks. Congratulations to Samsung Blue on another fantastic series. And with all of the Western teams now being out of the 2014 World Championships, I have a special request to the live design team from both North American and European LCS. Can we make the Nexus less tanky next year? With that, let's actually pick up the replay that ended that game. I think it's going to say it all, so let's get that on the screen immediately. Monte Cristo and the rest of the guys at the desk, let's start this one off, roll it out, and just talk me through these final moments from both Cloud9 and Samsung Blue's perspective.
Oh, I'm trying to remember which fight this was.
This was the one that
gets caught. Yeah, C9 get back
The
in
three
game.
picks that lead to the inhibitor and the Nexus push.
So
Double
the
lift.
flash kick was awesome, first of all. That was sick.
Yeah.
And they just kind of all in and they chase.
I've actually never seen Meteos pull that move off. I mean, it was just so clutch
No, I
to
told
do
you,
it at this moment.
he trained his champion. At the start, he was bad, but he said, like, no, I'm going to train those mechanics. He wins games in LCS purely on play.
This bubble right here, this three-man bubble,
Yeah.
I thought as the Nexus was about to die, that Heart won his team the game. If that bubble didn't hit 3 people, they might have
got
been
another bomb
able to
shield. Bomb absorbs it. And
Here's what you want to look for, actually, though. So as they chase down, there's 3 things to watch for. First of all, Meteos has kick back up at the very end here. He can actually kick Deft to keep him from dealing damage. Also, the very end, Corki flashes into the spray and pray shot that kills Lee Sin. Watch for that at the very end. If you kick Deft away,
So,
if you don't die, you actually survive here.
Because they focused down Rengar in that fight. Question to Double Lift, if those auto attacks had been on the tower and then the Nexus, would this have been a Nexus kill?
it's so hard to tell.
That's so hard to
No,
tell
Rengar
because
would've killed him.
Rengar might have been able to kill somebody, so they had to clean him up.
The point of this play, though, we can scrutinize this and be like, maybe, is that C9 was so far down, they had the balls to make a pick with a kick flash, and that was not a flash kick, that was a kick flash. And they basically realized, guys, we just got 2 picks. We will never, ever in this match get 2 more picks. We have to run for the base and try and finish. And they had the audacity to do that, and that is just what separates like the great teams from like the best teams.
And that's why I think Cloud9 is really like the best team in the LCS, either NA or EU. This is a team that can play from behind, that has a very clear idea about how they're going to win the game, usually has excellent pick and ban phase. They really brought it out this series, and they played an amazing series against a very strong opponent.
I have to ask the question to Freak, who's casted this team for many years now, watched them for a good year and a half. I feel that Orianna needs to be added to High's champion pool because Talon was average at best in both the group stages and now quarterfinals for him. I mean, is that something you
It's true. Honestly, every time at Worlds, High, unfortunately, gets brought down the champion that he's not quite as comfortable on. You could say it costs his team the game a little bit. I mean, he's playing a very unsafe champion against a Rengar, right, and getting caught out for it. I don't want to say it's High's fault to lose these games. That's completely unfair. But yes, he's getting pushed a little bit too far down his champion pool. I would like to see him broaden out his top tier a bit. Orianna would be a good pick. I mean, it's whatever you want it to be. Dade has his own crazy champion pool, and it works for him just fine, usually. Just learn more top tier champions for you, and you're good to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think High is player with a lot of big strengths and a lot of big weaknesses. Obviously, the champion pool and the fact that he gets caught out of position so frequently, but also he's the shot caller for that team. And anytime they rotate, anytime they make those big plays and those clutch decisions, it's High.
So to cut you off, we are talking about High. It's actually fantastic. We have an interview with him. We will come back to the discussion in a moment, but Shocks, over to you and High.
Thank you very much, Quick Shot. And, well, thank you very much for talking to us here, High. First up, tell me about those last moments. We just heard Heart's perspective, but for you guys, of course, at the other end.
There were like 2 things that we could have changed differently that may have made us win the game. But when we got those 2 kills, we knew if we didn't do this, we'd eventually lose the game anyway. So at that point in time, we're like, we're going for this. If we get it, we win the game. But if it fails, we lose. And we put all our eggs in the basket, and it didn't work out, sadly.
Well, you got to go for it. Does that also make you think of the rest of the series? Because game 1, you guys had it in the bag so good. So what happened after that?
I think if I can just get a little better personally, myself, then our games would go much smoother. A lot of times I did like a little mistake or did something bad, and my team wasn't nearly with me on it, and it just made the games really hard. So if I can fix the issues that I have personally as a player, I think our team can improve greatly. But it's just both games we were doing well, and then we did one bad play and they capitalized on it super hard and kind of just snowballed the game from that.
Well, that's a fantastic thing to say from you. What do you take away from this, knowing that you're out, but you did put up a fantastic showing for the NA scene and your team in specific?
Well, we did our best. At the very least, we won a game off them, and we came close a couple other times, so I'm happy for that. And I guess we finally just get to go on break now. We've been playing the entire year, and we finally get to relax now. Everyone gets to do their own thing and basically kind of mellow out a bit.
And then reset for the next season. What do you want to say to your fans that have been supporting you throughout this?
Thanks to everyone for cheering for us. We really appreciate you guys a lot. Sadly, we couldn't pull out a win, but at the very least, we support you guys cheering for us. And thanks a lot.
Well, thank you for the interview, and thank you very much for talking to us. And as for us, we're going to wrap things up a little further over with Trevor and the guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Shocks. Congratulations once again to Cloud9. I think they can walk away proud of their performance at Worlds. A few small improvements, and maybe they could have made it to the semi-finals. Let's talk a little bit more about Cloud9 before talking about Samsung Blue and rounding out the day, Crepo.
Oh yeah, I was actually going to jump from the Cloud9 pump to Samsung Blue, because I feel like while every team has their weaknesses, you have to exploit them. And I feel Spirit, this match, exploited them so beautifully. He ran top when there was no vision. Balls was running up to Ward. And right at that moment, max range Rengar leap, and he holds his boa. He holds it till after the flash. And over, he'll go mobility boots, gank mid. He'll jump in, place a pink ward, hold the boa, force High to react, boa strike, and then just screw it High, and he basically won that game for Samsung Blue.
Absolutely. Yeah. Holding the bola was just so key in those early engagements. And also the team composition that Blue got. We saw a lot of Yasuo bans in this series. Instead, Cloud9 opted to ban the Ryze this game. And I feel that was a mistake because that meant pretty much that High couldn't play Syndra here. And it kind of actually forced them onto the Talon pick a little bit awkwardly. And Dade's Yasuo is terrifying.
So, Freak, let's step back a little bit from the micro, maybe talk about the series in general. Sure. Samsung Blue 3 games in a row, punishing Cloud9 for their mistakes, and Cloud9 had quite a few. I think when they watch these replays back, they'll learn them. But we also saw a lot of weaknesses in Samsung Blue that Cloud9 punished several times over the course of the series.
Yeah, so thinking back about the series, Game 1, fantastic analysis and thought process by C9 to get that level 1 invade. Really sexy, really smart, set him up ahead. We saw all 4 games, the team with the lead early on snowballed it. Both these teams incredibly good with the lead. It's the tendencies you can exploit that you can build a lead against these teams. C9 repeated the same invade multiple times, and you saw Lemon face check by himself in Game 3. That was exploited. Similarly, again, the Game 1 invade by C9 really smart as well. So both these teams learning about their opponents, exploiting mistakes, snowballing leads very well. Also, just to correct what I said earlier, Lee Sin kick was not, however, unbreakable, was wasted on Nami. That would have been something to maybe break some Twitch damage down. I just wanted to make sure I didn't get that one out incorrectly. There was no kick up. Yeah, but, you know, speaking of individual mistakes, overall in the series, though, right, these guys have had early game deficits, High, bit of a weaker champion pool sometimes. Samsung Blue in general, they don't win the 2-on-2 lane, and that can be very rough against like Imp and Mata.
Double F, talk to me about the series before we move on and talk about the brackets.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about Samsung Blue a little bit because their early game, it's like people will just slap them in the face and they'll just take it. They'll be like, oh yeah, I love that. And then mid-game, they just they explode.
That's maybe you.
They make these ridiculous plays where they just get an ace and Baron every time. Honestly, all 3 of these previous games, they just get an ace in Baron, and then it's like, okay, game's over. Samsung Blue's got Baron. They've aced you. They're just going to wipe you over and over and over again. So it's just so impressive how much better mid-game these guys are than everyone else.
I completely agree. We'll have a chance to see their mid-game again in just a week's time. With another quarterfinal wrapped up, let's actually take a look at the world's bracket and see how 50% of the quarterfinals have shaped up. Both Samsung organizations coming out above their American opposition 3-1. And that will set us for the team kill semi-final between Samsung White and Samsung Blue, yet again on Korean soil. Bottom half of the bracket is going to be a China versus China matchup tomorrow. It'll be, of course, between Starhorn Royal Club and Edward Gaming, and then followed that by Najin White Shield and OMG. I just very briefly want to talk a little bit of hype about tomorrow's quarterfinal matchup between the two Chinese squads. There's a bit of discrepancy between our analysts about whether EDG are going to rise to the occasion considering it's against friendly opponents, or whether or not Starhorn Royal Club is going to choke. Where do you find yourself leaning towards, Double Lift?
Oh man, it's so hard. I think EDG, just because they're so consistent and they, like Freak said before, they always step up when it actually matters. But it's just really hard for me to tell. I chose, I think, 3-2 to EDG, but it could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised.
Damn it, Double Lift, predictions are tomorrow.
Sorry.
Freak, where are you leaning to build up some hype for tomorrow's match?
Well, for me, building hype, I'm just going to go against you and say 3-2 for Starhorn Royal Club, just to screw with you also as well. I mean, we can battle. It's fine. Your item build sucks, so I'd win the 1v1s. No, but you built a Zephyr second item on Vayne. Like, I don't know what you're doing. But no, it's honestly a great match. They have very, very different styles. It's going to be a lot of fun to see if Starhorn Royal Club can use their typical early game advantage. They're just incredible players overall, right? And it's just going to be a bloodbath. It's Chinese LoL. They fight a lot.
Well, yeah. Final thoughts from Crypto Monty before we move on.
I just agree that I think that if the average league viewer has interest in a lot of different things, if you're more like macro strategy, rotations, and calm early games, you would have loved these series so far. If you just want full-on brawl fest, you're probably going to love tomorrow a little more. I'm going to love tomorrow. I have no idea who's going to win. I'm leaning slightly towards one side, which is Royal Club, but honestly, I don't watch enough LPL throughout the entire season to 100% be right here. But I'm just looking forward to see Uzi play.
Final thoughts, Monte Cristo?
Well, I'm leaning towards EDG. I think they're going to pick it up in a best of 5, and that with these couple weeks we'll kind of re-empower them. And I hope we get to see that, because if you guys actually get to see EDG and Name when they're on fire, it is a pleasure to watch them team fighting, a lot like Samsung Blue.
And if you don't, it's his fault, because he's cursed them with the caster curse, as it were. So you've heard of the opinions. There's a bit split in the desk, which I'm excited about. And that World's Knockout stage will resume with Day 3 of the quarterfinals here in Busan. And that Chinese rivalry continues when Edward Gaming meets the Starhorn Royal Club. That series will begin tomorrow at 7 AM Central European Summertime, which is actually 10 PM Pacific time tonight. So guys, set your alarms accordingly. Today's series started off with a bang and it ended exactly the same way. That does it for Day 2 of the quarterfinals. I'd once again like to thank all of our guests here on the Analyst Desk, and from all of us and the entire World's broadcast team, thank you for watching. We'll see you for Day 3 as the 2014 World Championship continues.
World's been amazing so far. Let's get these games underway, ladies and gentlemen. And Cloud9 keep pushing on the tower. Oh, they've got that. Oh, that's going to get burst down. Oh, from the back. Elimination comes in. They've managed to find a fake on. Heart goes low. This is a wide one. And Cloud9 take game 1. We did not come here to lose today. The shield pulls in the Ignite, not quite gonna get him down. Sneaky's in trouble, it's gonna be an ace. What a ace as Samsung Blue strike back in front of their own Korean crowd. He's gonna keep going as well. Good knock upon elimination. Oh! And elimination will go down, and Samsung Blue